reason that the division exists in this country is because they tell you a thing, and then you all go repeat it, and people, you know what I'm saying, who are well educated,
for sure,
you know, or exist in these spaces, right? They know that what is being said to you and what you're regurgitating to them is not true, but you guys won't come off of it. You just keep saying it over and over again to the point where people lose their shit.
When you say you guys, you mean like the Republicans?
I apologize if you know what I'm saying. I put you in
divisive, but I'm just saying. I think it's similar.
Yes.
I would say it's similar on both sides. I mean, I know.
No, I wouldn't. I don't agree with that.
Okay, well, I know.
But I'm not a Democrat, so I really can't argue. You know what I'm saying, on behalf of them.
I'm not saying you are, but I did sound like an idiot there, and I can full-fledged say that. I wasn't trying to. I misspoke. That's fine. But I think
Earth Sanctuary is in construction, and they wanted to have a conversation with you really quickly. So I'm going to let them take the floor since they're in the industry.
Ahead. Sure.
Hi. Yeah, I just wanted to come through and answer some of these questions that you were having, especially when it concerned like those public-private partnerships. Those are really the key to affordable housing. The issue right now is, one, we are dealing with the horrible rise in steel prices from Trump's trade war with China. So that impacts the kinds of materials that we have available to even build with in the first place. It influences their prices. Another thing that influences are things like environmental regulations, which we don't really see as connected to construction until you build a house for yourself and you realize how many trusses and how many beams of yellow pine and how many of all of these wood materials that you need. And as we are, I don't even want to say moving forward, but as we are destroying the environment, right, there is a direct correlation between the cost of wood, because it takes time to grow all those trees, the quality of that wood, how long that wood is going to last, because if you're growing trees and they're growing super long, but their whole lives they've been poisoned, they don't get enough water, there's drought, all this kind of stuff, all of that's going to impact the quality and the cost of things. And then three, when they were talking about those public-private partnerships and that being the key, it circles back to what they were saying before with taxing the ultra wealthy and taxing the corporations. Because when you put corporate and private and even government partnerships together, what you get is a greater displacement of the responsibility of those costs. All of those costs are displaced, and it's not on the general contractor to come out of pocket for all of those costs. And that keeps the prices of the house low, because there are companies that can afford to take some of those hits versus a general contractor is, we're charging like, 30% of our overhead. Like, we're not even large off of the house to build. And then when we do get our lump sum, whatever we get from that, it goes into keeping the business going. It goes right into building more houses. So I'll give you an example. Like right now, we are working on a construction in Quincy, Florida, a really historic space. And we're working with someone who is like spearheading this initiative to get a bunch of grants, right? So there we've got like the government kind of input, get a bunch of grants to pay for the different renovations of a historic building. So we're reusing existing infrastructure. That's another thing. Not always necessarily building new all the time. There's a lot of buildings that can just be renovated and brought up to code, and then they can be sufficient housing. So we have a partnership with T-Mobile to put solar panels on the roof. So we've got a historic building that's going to have low-income housing on the upper part. It'll be a residential commercial split. So low-income housing on the top part, and then on the bottom part will be a Black-owned art gallery with an artist space, so that artists can work, craft their things, and leave it there in a secure location. So you have residential, you have a job space, and then like a public access art space one. So I think like
Earth, you're breaking up a little bit, friend.
You come into
Earth, you're breaking up a little
Oh,
bit.
my apologies. Can you hear me now?
You got the red bars of death.
I'm gonna try turning off
You
and
live
just
in a
going
red
to
state,
Wi-Fi.
don't
Is
you?
that better?
You sound better.
Yes, much better.
They said they were Florida.
Oh, of
I'm in
course.
Florida right now.
So are we.
But I'm from Minnesota.
Can I ask
So I know all
Don't
about
you know?
walls, too. Yeah, Jeff, was that Jeff? Or who is that?
No, it was lions.
Lions, sure.
when you said you were, oh, sorry, did I interrupt someone?
No,
Oh, my
you're
bad.
good.
You said what were you building in Florida? Just so you were cutting out a little bit.
Sure, no problem. We build new home constructions. We do home renovations. And then we've also done projects in the past where we update historic buildings, get them up to code. And let's see, what else do we do? We will be breaking into like solar powered tiny home developments. So we kind of do a little bit of everything.
So, how do you do you use union labor?
There's
Not
not
for
really
everything.
unions in Florida.
Yeah, so there's that thing. We subcontract out a lot of the work. So usually how it goes in construction is you have a general contractor who holds the license. They take the courses, they have the experience, they know how everything needs to be set up. It's a delicate process of fine tuning the schedule, the making sure the supplies are delivered, which trade comes before the other trades, timing the inspections. It's a lot of scheduling and coordination. So
Right.
you kind of need that centralized. So the general contractor holds the license to build a home or build a building, but the work of the electrician, the plumber, the HVAC, which is going to be like your AC, and the carpenters, those are all subcontracted out, and those are their own licenses. So what we do is we coordinate all of the trades, the subcontractors, and time all of their work so that we have a seamless start to finish process.
Gotcha. So you said you're a general contractor?
I work for the general contractor, yes. I do the bookkeeping for. And then my mother is the project manager, so helping with
You said you build solar powered tiny homes?
So that's what we're going to be breaking into in the
Oh,
near
yeah. Shoot me a DM. Shoot me a
Oh.
DM.
Yeah, I
All
knew
right,
you
I
missed
got you.
that. That's why I texted you.
Yeah, shoot me a DM. ASAP, actually.
I got you. Okay, all right then. So if we're going to go that route, then we can talk about how to turn the city of Quincy, Florida into a solar panel manufacturing and distribution location. That's the bigger vision.
So, I love solar. I think solar is the way to go. Or I would even go even further, saying nuclear's the way to go, really, in the future.
Well, so we should use solar power for homes. Like that's the way it should be. So solar power for homes. And then we should use, like nuclear fission energy for like industrial.
Yes.
And then for like your retail spaces and things of that nature, we could use, like a vast array. But like Disney has its own set of solar farms. So like if their power were to go out, they're fine.
They're totally insular, totally insulated. And what's ironic is a lot of these big corporations are. So it's not just about, we want to take all their money and it's their hard-earned money. And no, that's not what's going on. These big corporations, they're not obtuse to the fact that they are the number one contributors to changes in our global climate. They're not obtuse to that fact. I talk with people who are, in the oil and refinery industry. And I've listened to the things that they said. Do you really think, these big corporations like Exxon and Chevron, when you go to their plants, I'm not talking about the gas station, when you go to their power plants they got whole tracts of land. These are not accessible by public roads. You need different levels of security clearance to get onto these spaces. Do you think they're rolling around their vehicles in gas? They're not. They're working out with hydrogen power.
And you said
Selling us a dream of fossil fuels.
You said
Yeah,
hydrogen.
hold on. Before you go, Lions, I just want to make something very clear. This is not a debate page. And this is not a democracy. And this is not a space for you to put whatever you want in the comments. It's not. And I don't feel bad about that. And I don't care that you're upset.
Was that something I said?
No, it's not something you said.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah, this is a space for education. These are not debates.
So actually,
nobody wants to see your Trump train. Nobody wants to see your Trump. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody cares.
And actually,
literally nobody cares. So if you're wondering why your comments are being muted, because you're if you want to have something of value to add to the conversation, then do so. But if you're just here, you know what I'm saying, to like chirp in the comments and be a keyboard warrior, I'm not gonna put that on my mods.
Also, and I can't say this enough. No, you're good. Sometimes muting your comments makes the inner child in me giggle.
Same.
I just wanted to say that, I came in here, with the thought of debating, but actually being in here, I actually appreciate the discourse. So I just wanted to say that.
I need you to see a message that I got. It's related to Jones. I think it's hilarious.
It's related to me.
He was against landlords, but he exploits you by renting your room in his house. What?
What? That's the farthest thing from the truth ever.
Like
Also,
literally the farthest thing from the truth.
Jovan, I put it in the chat, but I have to tell you, you're priceless to me, Jovan. Priceless.
That's crazy.
Thank you, Reds. Thank you.
Like that, and here's the crazy part. Here's the crazy part, bro. Like nobody actually knows what it is, you know what I'm saying, that I do or don't do. They have they cast all these aspersions about me, you know what I'm saying, and have all of these ideas about me, and have never asked me literally anything.
I think it's
I know.
hilarious because
I
I
know what
don't
you
pay
do.
you rent anymore. So who's getting exploited? Where's the?
I mean,
there's no-
really, truly, I think that Jones is getting the better end of that deal.
Oh, what we just? No, I'm gonna be honest. No, that money's gonna come in real handy for me.
I don't know.
Don't
I
worry.
work
If
with Jones.
wait, no,
Like-
hold on. You best believe if it starts really doing well, the price is gonna go up. Obviously, it's all commensurate to like how well his account does.
I agree with that. I'm fine with that. I'm a communist.
Oh, shit.
Lion's brain just exploded.
I just think it was a hilarious comment to like open my phone and see that message.
That is wild, though.
That is crazy.
But yes, like no, I don't. That's not the agreement at all. Just so you guys know.
Their agreement is ass, gas, or crack.
I actually get my room for sexual favors. Just a
Yes.
Jump.
But no, like on a serious note, you know what I'm saying? Like there's this person that was on here being like absolutely obscene to Kiara and to No Reds earlier today.
Oh, Curly Beard is back.
Oh, is he?
Who were they? I'll beat them up.
Yeah, but not and
Being obscene.
Jonathan.
Oh, he's insignificant. I forgot him already.
Right, but now he just sent me message after message after message after message after message, and then commented on every single one of my videos, and I'm like, bro, this is unhinged ass behavior, bro.
Hey, I had a
Like this is not okay. Yeah, the X-ray tech dude. But anyways, yeah, and he was like, you don't do anything for anybody. You don't do anything for the community. You just sit up there and lie and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like.
What's crazy is you document the stuff you do for the community. It's not like you say.
But I don't make videos about it. So I guess it's not real unless I, you know what I'm saying, like
You have to
make
show
videos about it and brag about all the shit that I did.
We don't exploit people for content. That's obscene.
Exactly.
We do what we have to do. We document it for tax purposes and roll the fuck on. Like, come on.
Communist.
Why are they
Real
so
quick before I bounce, I had a brilliant idea today. I had a brilliant idea
did
today,
what?
Jones.
You had an
the
idea?
most genius idea.
What's that?
Because I saw you were wearing your jersey. I think we should do a Team Tough versus Team Baddie charity basketball game.
I'm
I'm
out.
here for
I got
it.
weak ankles.
I'm here for it. Team Tough wins Easy.
Nah, Team Batty's gonna smoke you.
It's me and Quentin. That's all we need.
Nah, you're not that good. You're short, bro.
I'm
Sure,
gonna be
bro.
a cheerleader. Me and my weak ankles.
No, Raz, did you just
your
claim
whole-
bone spurs?
I didn't
Your
say
whole
bone
arm
spurs.
reach.
I'm pretty sure I have Ehlers-Danlos. My tendons and ligaments don't like me. I have
Jones
weak
seems like the
ankles.
type of person to play basketball in goggles.
That's crazy. Earth Sanctuary, is that you laughing? You got real comfortable real fast, bro. You should have muted first. You should have muted before you did all that.
You're safe, Earth Sanctuary. You're safe. I'll bring you back. Don't worry.
Hey, Jones, can I ask you a question?
Oh,
Yeah,
if there were
absolutely.
any other
Hold on one
questions
second,
or
Earth.
construction,
Hold
let
on
me
one second,
know.
Earth. Yeah, but make sure you DM me.
Okay, let me do that right now then.
All right, cool. Go ahead. Go ahead, Lions.
You know, can you explain to me communism?
Sure. Stateless, moneyless, classless society.
So, can you give me 2 instances of that being successful?
Yeah, all of human history for the most part.
So, Soviet Russia.
No, all of human history for the most part.
Soviet Russia was socialist, not communist.
It's correct.
How so?
Because they had a government.
What about North
They had a state, so they weren't stateless.
Yeah.
Soviet Russia was specifically Marxist-Leninist.
What about North Korea?
North Korea's
Yeah, that's a
Juche.
totalitarian fascist country, to be honest with you.
No, North Korea's Juche. They're the most
I
accurate
guess,
you can
but-
give them is like a socialist experiment. But they're Juche. They're their own thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, say that one more time.
They're their own thing. They have their complete own economic system, separate from anything anybody else has.
Would you say it's closer to communism or capitalism?
It's closer to state socialism than anything else.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's communism. Like, it's closer to
No, it's
communism.
not.
It's closer
No,
to
it's
communism.
not.
I have a question for you, Lions. But before we spin our wheels, Lions, can you repeat back what Jones's definition of communism was and what that means to you?
Honestly, no, I couldn't because there was like multiple people talking.
Stateless, moneyless, classless society. You know what stateless means?
So it just everyone is one.
No. Do you know what stateless means?
So you want a bigger government.
No, I want zero government. Stateless means there is no government.
So what's the difference between saying everyone is one? There's no. So what's the authority? What's the authority?
The people.
So everyone is one.
I guess collective.
No, communism is like staunchly individualism.
Yeah, I mean
Like the
it is,
ideology
but
of
I'm just
being
saying like everybody has a voice. I don't know what he's trying to say, so I'm just saying everybody has a
No,
voice.
I'm just curious, like when that's worked. Like you're
The vast majority of human history. I keep saying the same thing over and over again.
so
Yeah,
give me,
every
How long has
individual
Homo
tribe
sapiens
give me a society that
Yeah.
works.
Yeah, all of them. How many? All of them, literally,
Specific.
all of them. But that's as specific as you can get.
So Venezuela?
Friend. How long?
Cuba?
How long have human beings been on this planet? Homo sapiens specifically.
I would say like probably a billion years.
No,
What is it?
285,000 years.
Okay.
Homo sapiens. So for 284,400 of those years, we lived in most of the world lived in communal nature.
So they were communists.
They lived in communal nature.
They had a stateless, moneyless, classless society in which there was no private property. They were communists in everything but name.
Do you think if we had a stateless, moneyless, classless society, we would
Yes,
all
every indigenous tribe was stateless, like literally
prosper.
everyone. Yes, every indigenous tribe was
The
stateless.
entire continent of Africa, the entire, North American, South American continent, Australia,
Australia?
most of it, most of Southeast Asia.
You're saying right
Lions,
now?
This would be
Lions,
prior to
money and
colonization.
government didn't exist since the beginning of man.
No, I'm asking. Are you saying right now, like with Australia and stuff like that? Is that what you were saying? I couldn't hear you.
No, prior to colonization.
So what do you think? What do you think today's society would look like prior to colonization?
What?
What do you mean?
Well, I thought that's what you were asking. I thought that's what you were saying.
What do you mean? What do I think today's society would look like prior to colonization?
I don't get the question.
I'm sorry. I thought he said. I don't know how to say it. Jovan. Sorry. I thought he was saying that everything like prior to colonization.
Colonization, these tribes, these areas didn't have capitalism. Colonization brought capitalism.
So what would they look like afterwards?
So here's the thing, right? Like if I went to the medicine person, you know what I'm saying, with the, you know, what we would consider a doctor in my tribe, and I said, hey, I'm sick. They're not going to say, hey, well, I need you to bring me 3 fish, 2 buckets of water, and, 5 deer, and then we'll deal with your sick. They just healed me. And if they came to me and said, hey, I need shelter, then we would all collectively build them shelter. And if people needed, if the children needed to be taken care of, the people who were best at taking care of children all collectively took care of the children. And it didn't matter if you were man or woman, whoever was most equipped or better equipped for the task, right? Like when it came to hunting, everybody who was equipped to be a hunter hunted. And anthropology and archaeology tells us that women were the better hunters because they worked in unison with each other, as opposed to the men who wanted to, hunt in solo. And so, I mean, quite literally, if we look at all of these societies, we see that collectivism, and we still see this in a lot of tribes that are still alive and well today on the continent of Africa, that if there's a resource to be had, the resource is split equitably amongst everybody.
So you're comparing modern society to tribes that have never seen human technological advances.
Yes, they have. This is ridiculous. Most of our major human advances came from indigenous tribes.
Exactly.
We took
vaccines came from, like an enslaved African. What we know of architecture, math, and how to map constellations all came from the continent of Africa.
The entirety of the way we do agriculture.
Yeah, I was about to say all that we know about agriculture came from the indigenous peoples of the
Why haven't they advanced?
Because they were killed.
Yeah, I was about to say, they were wiped out.
There's still indigenous tribes that have never seen the technological advances at all. They've never even seen people.
What if they don't? What if they feel they don't need them to live a fulfilled life?
So if you feel that way, why don't you go live with them?
What are you talking about?
What?
I'm Afro-Indigenous.
Where did that come from?
Well, what I'm saying. No, that's not what I'm.
Like,
what
bro,
I'm
do you see how bigoted you sound right now? You didn't even realize how bigoted you sound.
But it's what I'm trying to understand is you're saying that.
So you were going to tell Carolyn, thank you so much for the $50. I appreciate you. W
You just
Carolyn in the
said,
chat.
if you don't like it, leave.
No, I didn't say that.
But
You absolutely did.
That's
that verbatim what I said.
Go live with them.
Go live with them.
Correct.
Why should I have to?
It sounds like what I'm saying. It sounds like what you're saying is you would enjoy their culture better than what we have today.
You don't understand communism enough to have this conversation, my friend. Because if you did, you wouldn't be saying that. You would understand how silly that statement was.
Why isn't communism so prevalent? Like, why?
Because capitalists won't allow it. Because if people realize that they don't have to be fucking slaves to corporations and slaves to other people, that their wages don't have to be stolen from them, their life and their time and their energy and the time they could be spending with their family and their hopes and their dreams didn't have to be stolen from them, they wouldn't fucking participate.
Every country that's even thought to become communist since World War II has been destroyed by the United States.
Correct.
Has literally been the U.S. has intervened.
Give me 3.
Including the 2 you mentioned, Cuba and Venezuela.
Hold on, I'll go off the fucking dome, bro. Honduras, Chile, Vietnam, North Korea, or all of Korea, Iraq. How many more do you want? I can keep going off.
You said North Korea.
All of Korea. The Korean War was literally America stepping in when Korea.
What about Cuba?
Yeah,
I said
that's
Cuba.
We attempted to kill Castro. We attempted to assassinate Castro.
Do you agree with Fidel Castro's plans?
Absolutely.
100%. 1000%.
What about all the people that starved and died?
Bro, I'm literally a
Because of the
Cuban.
United States, Alina's Cuban.
How was that because of United States? He was a
Okay,
dictator.
hold on. Stop. Everybody stop. Everybody mute up. Why did the Cuban Revolution start, Lions?
No, tell me.
You don't know?
No, just tell me.
So why do you have an opinion on it?
Why do you have an opinion on it?
Because I know how it started. I know the history. I've been to the country.
You've been to Cuba?
Yes.
I think that's awesome, but I think it's objectively true that Cuba was a dictatorship.
Why did Castro start the Cuban Revolution?
I don't know. You tell me.
Because the United States had sugarcane plantations and banana plantations on the Cuban island, and they were enslaving black Cubans.
Or it wasn't because people were starving to death because Fidel Castro.
Jones, can I give the
Fidel
actual
Castro was
stats?
a dictator?
Can I give the stats on what Cuba was like prior to Castro?
I just want
This was prior to Castro. I don't know where he missed this.
Yeah, I
It
just want to recap.
wasn't. It wasn't just the
Hold on.
plantations.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Alina.
Go ahead,
It
Alina.
wasn't
You
just the
got it.
plantations. It was also the fact that the Italian and Jewish mobs from the United States had gone down to Cuba and
Built
basically
hotels and casinos.
built hotels, casinos, and all that, and were basically pillaging the land. None of the money was going to the people. They were bribing Batista. It was a cluster F.
So,
Prior to, hold on, really quick, Lions, really quick.
sorry, my bad.
Prior to Castro freeing
And
Cuba
Che. Stop leaving out Che, you guys.
and Che, Cuba was occupied by the United States. We controlled 75% of all the arable land in Cuba. 2/3 of Cubans were illiterate. Only one in every 6 Cuban farmer owned the land in which they worked on. We destroyed their telecommunications networks. The U.S. basically helped Cuba get free of Spain in the early 1850s, and then the U.S. said, and now we're taking over you. That's what happened.
Does that sound familiar?
So,
Hawaii,
Puerto
Rico.
Hawaii.
so then why did Cuba align with Russia?
Because, wait, first of all, because the USSR was also fighting against Cuba, like Cuba was, right? When you have a common enemy, you're going to align with somebody.
The friend, yeah. The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
But
So-
also,
They were
So
also
was
blockaded.
So you say R was your friend. Like,
No,
you guys.
that's not what I said. The enemy of my enemy.
But would you agree with the USSR when they were...
Absolutely, we wouldn't have you wouldn't even be sitting here talking on your cell phone right now with communicating with us had it not been for the USSR.
How can you say that?
Because
let's
it's a
not
fact.
forget. Let's not forget.
Because it's a
Let's
fact.
not forget. Let's not forget. During his time, Castro had over 50% approval from all of Cubans. Over 50% approval rate.
Well, what about
his
Putin?
entire
Every
time
time
in
Putin has more than 50%.
Lions, I'm going to remind you that this conversation started with you having a really strong opinion about a thing you knew nothing about. You then said, oh, I did come up here with a debate mindset, but I love the conversation. And now again, you have a really strong opinion about something that you're proving to know nothing about. I just want you to think about that for a moment before you say your next sentence.
Okay, so... what's wrong with disagreeing?
You can't disagree on the facts. So I just want to tell you something.
It's hard to sorry, hold on. It's hard to agree with people that think communism is the way when it's never
No.
been the way.
But
But it has been the way for the vast majority of human existence. You don't even know what it is. You didn't even know what it was before we
It
told
is
you.
literally the redistribution of wealth.
Okay, so just
The issue too
FYI.
is not only do you not know anything about it, you're also arguing with someone that is from that country about the history of that country.
I was going to say, at its base core, communism is just the abolition of private property, which is a good thing. Private property is unethical.
The
You don't want
Soviet
anyone to have
Union,
anything of their own.
the Soviet
private property
Union, the
means.
The USSR
What is private?
literally industrialized 300% faster than any other nation.
got the space first.
300%.
We got to space first. Listen, I really don't understand why you're like this. I really don't. This is going to go bad for you. I'm just letting you know. Like, you can have a conversation.
You like communism.
Are you a Christian?
Yes.
Lions, are you a Christian?
No.
All right,
Nah.
real quick. This is what you sound like. This is what you sound like. What are trees made out of?
Why is that relevant?
Humor me. I'll show you how it's relevant. No, I could just kick you. Humor
I'll
me.
humor you. I'll humor you, Jeff.
Trees are made out of, they're made out of carbon.
No, they're not. They're made of steel. That's what you sound like.
How so?
Because you have no idea. Look, I'm going to do this again, and I know what it's going to be. Can you repeat for me Jones's definition of communism and what it means to you?
So you want me to tell you the definition of communism and what it means to me?
No, I said, can you repeat for me Jones's definition of communism and what it means to you?
I don't remember what he said. I'm by
That's
myself
the
and there's
problem.
like 6 people in here.
That's the problem. Trees are made of steel. That's the problem.
This is wild. Okay, I'm going to say it for the third time. It is a stateless, moneyless, classless society.
I already said that, but I got sidetracked by all of you. But I mean,
Okay, do you want everybody else to leave, Lions? Will that make you feel better?
No,
'Cause
of course not. Of course not.
I was about to say, it's just going to be worse, bro.
No, I enjoy like talking to different people, like learning and stuff. But I don't understand how communist, like it doesn't make sense to me. I don't know.
I know because capitalists kept telling you that this is the only way.
So you said like it sounds like there's no order. Like how would
do you
there be
mean?
any order?
So hold on, you're telling me that we all couldn't collect? Yeah, you telling me we all can't collectively agree to what the rules
Fuck
are?
no.
Why can't we?
Oh my God. Like you think so like in what world do you think this country could collectively like be together without any rules?
Who said there was no rules? You said that. I didn't say that.
No government, sorry.
So hold on, you want to be governed.
I want small government.
So how about no government? You can't get much smaller than that.
I want small government. Of course you need
How about no government? You can't get much smaller than that.
I want small government.
What about no government?
I just said no.
So
Why not?
somebody said something really smart the other day, and I'm stealing it right now. I'm colonizing
Bro
it.
said freedom? I don't want that.
No, we okay with that. They said that when people say small government, what they really mean is unintrusive government, and I agree. Like, you don't want the government to be in your living room. You don't
Correct.
really want a small government because a government has to grow with the people. So, like, if we had a whole population of 50,000, you will have a small government because the population's small. But if that same government had to administer a population of 365
Thank you,
million,
Lakeisha.
everything would be behind. Case in point, we have, for all you border people out there, we don't have enough border judges, and the border and the asylum process takes forever. You see, you want a bigger government to handle the growing needs of a growing population. You just don't want them in your living room or in your kitchen or in your bathroom.
Right.
Or in your private parts, right? Or in the doctor's office. You don't want them there.
I know what you're doing, but
It's not what I'm doing. I'm not doing anything. I'm speaking.
I don't want the government to be involved in my life as much as possible.
Gotcha. So then the government shouldn't be involved in making decisions for women's bodies then, yes?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I agree with that.
So you're pro-choice.
It's up to the woman. I don't give a fuck about that.
Okay. Are you gonna vote? Are you gonna vote for that?
I'm going to vote for Trump because it's up to the states.
Then you're not voting for women's right to choose. If
So
you're
it's-
voting for Trump, you're not.
Is it not a vote?
Hold on.
But also, hold on.
Hold on, Jeff.
How would
Before you
that
go,
work in a communist
Jeff,
state?
before you even run down that path, before you can run down that path. So should everything be turned back over to the states?
Sorry, say that again.
Should everything be turned back over to the states?
I would say no.
Like, what shouldn't be turned over to the states?
I guess like I would say like SEC stuff.
You mean the stuff that's been being violated and nobody's controlling it? That stuff.
How so?
We had this conversation earlier.
The SEC?
Yeah.
What are we talking?
We talked about antitrust laws.
So that's the SEC.
This is the bad place. Listen,
I'm gonna
when
need
you
an
say-
emotional support burrito, Jeff.
I'm actually gonna go out and get like something to nosh on after this because this is wild. Listen, when you say turn it back to the states, do you realize that you're just kicking the can down the road for another person to tell you what to do?
How so?
Well, let me draw you a
If
picture.
kicking it down to the states meant that the people in the state got to decide, then that's one thing. But if kicking it down to the states means the people like Governor DeSantis or that what's his name? Fucking the dude in Texas, Abbott get to decide, then no. Because or kicking it down to the states means that a 12-year-old started 7th grade in the state of fucking Mississippi as a parent of a newborn, then fucking no.
Yeah,
Like somebody who raped her, mind you.
which is absolutely insane. Like, listen, Lions, if the federal government told you that you had to go pick up your newspaper from the driveway by 6 a.m. every day, or you had to pay a $50 fine, or the state government that you live in said the exact same thing, what the fuck is the difference?
So would you do that?
I'm asking you a question and you're answering me with a question. I'm starting to get frustrated. Stop talking. If the federal government told you that you had to go pick up the newspaper from the front of your driveway by 6 o'clock in the morning, or you have to pay a $50 fine, and you say, no, kick that down to the states, and then the state comes along and says, yeah, Lions, you got to pick it up by 6 a.m. or pay me $50. What's the difference between those two things?
It comes down to who you vote for. When your state,
You're voting anyway. You're voting anyway. They're telling you the same thing.
You vote in the federal government the same way you vote in the state government.
Exactly. So now for a woman, if the federal government says no, you can't have a shmishmortion, and you go kick it down to the states, and now you have a state telling the woman the exact same fucking thing, what's the difference to her? You think she gives a fuck that you kicked it down to the states? It's still the government. Is the state not a government? Is the state government not a government?
But I guess no. I said I don't agree with the men controlling women's.
But that's the problem.
Except when it's the state.
Hey, Ernst, I'm gonna swap you out,
Can you
friend.
let me make my point?
Sure, go ahead.
But you guys are all communists, so like how would that work in a communist?
Communist. I'm sorry. What?
You
Hey,
guys
Harrison, shut the fuck
state.
up. Nobody introduced you, bro.
Wait, Lions, are you fiscally conservative? Do you find yourself to be? You like to be fiscally conservative?
What do you like? Elaborate if you don't mind.
Like, do you believe that like we spend too much on things? Like, you want to scale
The
back the
government
amount?
spends too
Yeah,
much
the
money.
government.
Well, I think of course the government spends too much money.
Okay, you know what spends a lot of money is having every single state have their state legislator like decide a law like abortion. So everything that gets kicked back to the states, like if you want to talk about just money wise, like it just doesn't make sense. You're having all of these people come together to decide laws when you could just have the overarching people do it.
Again, I don't.
That's a different point.
I don't agree with abortion.
But you're voting for it.
That's one because it could come down to the states. So I mean that's one.
It went down to the states,
Oh,
and since it went down to the states, 70,000.
So that's your only vote.
70,000 women and girls have had to have children with people who raped them. 70,000 since the overturning of Roe v. Wade. Some of them as young as 12 years old, who started 7th grade with a newborn baby by somebody who raped them.
So obviously, I think that's wrong. I mean, I'm not trying to disagree with that, but I mean,
So if you think that that's wrong, then it is your job as a person with empathy and compassion for the people that this stuff has happened to, is to not vote for Trump so that things like this don't continue. Because there is no reason on this earth why one person in one state has more rights than another person in another state, and why men have more rights than women when it
And
comes to
also,
the
it's
bodily
against the
autonomy.
14th Amendment. Also, it's
That
against the
also.
14th Amendment.
So if
But
you
you're
care about people,
communist,
no, Lions, I'm
right?
still talking. If you care
Talking?
about people, if you care about your wife, then you don't vote for Trump. Because what are you going to do if your wife becomes one of those people and you live in a state where she doesn't have access to that care?
After being raped.
I mean, my wife, that's pretty fucked up, but my
It's not
wife,
fucked up. Do you have a uterus?
obviously
So the
not.
only way that you so the only way that you can relate to that on a personal level is the closest person to you with a uterus, your wife. It's not fucked up. I'm not wishing that on her. I'm asking, what would you do?
Well, I mean,
if you lived in a
it does
state
sound like you
where
guys
something
are
like that
like
happened?
very.
I'm not. Because you know what?
It does sound like it.
Nope, I would connect your wife with elevated access and get her the fuck out of there is what I would do. Because those are the choices we have right now. But if you care about people in your life with a uterus, then you don't vote for somebody who doesn't give a fuck about the people in your life.
I want y'all to see this. I just want y'all to see this.
It's real life, Lions.
What'd you say?
I said that's real life. You
I
can
know
read
that.
it.
I know things. I know bad things happen. I know that.
And what are you going to do when you or someone in your life is impacted directly by those bad things that happen? Because it is a very real scenario, and it has happened 70,000 plus times. Why would
it's only
you
been
vote
2
for
years.
someone who is not protecting people in your life that you love?
So, again, I've already said.
It's a yes. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say I don't support. I support.
Hold on.
You
Pause. Somebody in the chat,
Why can't I talk?
because I don't want you to. Somebody in the chat said, was the girl raped?
Yes.
Somebody in the chat, no, well, she's
It doesn't
12.
matter. She's 12. She can't consent.
So
Yeah,
can I say something to Lions?
That is a
Hey, Lions.
disgusting comment.
So
Hey, hold on,
Lions.
Yvette. Hold on,
Uh-huh.
Yvette. People came in before you. I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna have to ask you to wait your turn respectfully.
So wait, is someone
Go
asking?
ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I don't know what the question was. There was.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna try to put it in the most plain terms that I possibly can. Right?
People talked. I mean, it was talking.
I'm only talking now. Nobody, everybody else is muted. It's just me talking now.
Okay, I appreciate you.
Okay, so if you were invited to a dinner party and you get to the dinner party, you take your jacket off, hang it up, throw your keys on the entryway table, right? And then you go sit down. They're serving soup, salad, and breadsticks, and then they start talking about Yahtzee shit. Are you gonna get up and leave?
What do you Yahtzee shit? What is that?
Shitler talk. I can't say the other words.
I don't know. I'm confused.
1930s and 40s Germany.
I'm confused by the relevance of this.
I'm asking you a question. Would you stay for the next course, or would you leave if there's a bunch of Yahtzees at the table?
I don't understand. A bunch of Yahtzees?
Change the Y to an N.
Okay. I got
Are we
it.
on the same page now?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Are you gonna stay or are you gonna leave?
I would leave.
Okay, gotcha. Because why?
Because it's wrong.
What's wrong?
Because, I mean, genocide is wrong.
Okay. Because fascism is wrong. Because being a Yahtzee is wrong.
Was that not the right answer?
My point is that if you were voting along the same lines as the Yahtzee, then you're a Yahtzee. It's really that simple.
Wouldn't you say, though, that communist dictators follow more of Hitler's views than, how so?
Some people's brain cells don't hold hands.
I know.
So you don't think that Hitler more aligns with Stalin?
Stalin was also a fascist.
So answer the question.
They were both fascists. I don't know what you want me to answer.
They didn't align more with communism?
No.
How so?
Both of them were fascists.
So they didn't steal wealth from, they just wanted all the wealth.
Right.
Go ahead, Jeff.
I don't know if you're doing this on purpose or by accident. I really hope it's on purpose.
Sounds like you're defending Nazis.
No, you idiot. Yahtzees are right wing.
Sorry, my bad.
Yahtzees are on the right wing, and they are fascist. We have defined and described communism to you now no less than a dozen times. I think you're doing this on purpose. I hope so, because otherwise, the alternative is just sad to me. So, are you just not tracking on purpose?
So, let me ask you this.
Communism is a stateless, meaning no government.
Do you think that would promote?
Stop talking. Nope. Don't say it.
You just asked me a question.
I didn't ask you a question that required an answer, because hopefully you're not tracking on purpose. But communism is a stateless, which means no government, moneyless, which means no currency, classless society, meaning everybody is on even par socially, which means if you want to eat a steak, I'm going to just ABC it, you get a freaking steak. If you need a big house because you have a big family, you get a big house because you have a big family. If you need a small house because it's just you and the missus, y'all get a small house. That is what it is.
And you don't think that would take advantage of the middle class?
No.
There is no middle
class.
class.
Exactly. It would make a huge problem. You know it would.
It is class. So what is the upper class in communism? What does that look like?
The people that just steal all the money from the poor.
There's no money!
As an
So where's
intellectual
the money?
exercise.
So how does it work?
There's no money. There's no money. There's no money. There's no money.
So what do you do then?
Moneyless.
Is it? Are you bartering?
No,
I think we should talk to Harrison for a little
we
bit.
live in a technologically advanced society as to where you don't actually need any, currency. You don't need any of these things. Like all of the things that a human being could need to survive, we have the means by which we can provide them.
What do we have?
I'm going to interrupt for just a second. Just a second, Lions. Marinate on what he just said. Do not be ableist in the comments, because not only will you get muted, you will get blocked if you keep doing it. Because it's the same people, and I've seen you do it before. Don't do it. Thank you.
So would there be any sort of security, or just anyone could kill anyone, or how would that work?
No, of course there would be laws. Like, what the hell, bro? Like, you think that in indigenous cultures, like, you could just go around unaliving folks and just walk off like it's all good? Huh?
Yes.
Okay.